I was not a rap fan at all. I thought it was really stupid. I was meeting so many people, and I was like, what can I do with all these people I know, you know? And I was always like watching interviews and like watching stuff, seeing what I should do next.
Who are you watching?
I watched No Jumper a lot, of course. I watch DJ Academics. I watch Hot 97, The Breakfast Club. I would honestly like wait 5 hours for an artist. My friends would hate going out with me so much because I made them like stay there. Because I'm cool with like a lot of rappers' managers, so they're always like, oh, you just gotta catch them when they're like at the right time. You know, like when you go to shows and stuff, everyone's talking, everyone has the same conversation. Oh, no one in Miami wants to help anybody, everyone is selfish.
Hi, this is Lauren Engel of Sidewalk Talk. Today I'm with Nick of 6 feet. Were you born in Miami or?
Yeah, I was born in Miami, born and raised out there.
Oh, and your parents are from there as well?
Yeah, my parents are like Haitian, Dominican.
Oh.
And stuff.
What do they do?
My mom is an accountant, and my dad, like, he was working at for like the electric company or something. But he had like a lot of other jobs and stuff. But he worked a lot of different places.
What kind of music were they playing in the house when you were growing up?
I listened to mostly like the radio stuff. Like I mostly grew up with my mom, and she would play, what is it, like R&B, like 90s R&B all the time. But I wasn't really into it. I didn't really like music like that.
You didn't?
No, I was actually into metal.
Oh, what?
Like, yeah, I listened to like metal and rock and stuff.
Did your friend show you that or?
No, it's because like when I was little, I had this game Guitar Hero. And I would just play it all the time. And I liked the music on there, so I just like played it.
Yeah.
And I would just like the songs, so I would just like download them and just listen to all the time. Like I listen to a lot of Metallica and like Iron Maiden and stuff that everyone's wearing on their shirts nowadays.
Yeah. How do you describe yourself back then growing up?
I was always like a weird kid. I was always like, I mean, I had a lot of friends, but I asked a lot of questions, so like people didn't like being around me because I would just ask a lot of questions. And I think it's like funny because now I'm an interviewer. So yeah. It's like, I guess I ask questions.
So you were like the annoying kid in class?
Yeah, pretty much.
But you knew, so you were just like curious?
Yeah, I was always
everything.
A very curious person. My mom she was not very patient, so she would like shoot down on my questions. Like I would ask so many questions.
Oh. What were your like favorite subjects back then?
I was really into art. I didn't really like learning art in school because all I liked to do was draw, and they would make me like do, you know, like painting and knife cutting, whatever, you know. And I just wanted to draw. I wasn't really into school too much. Like I liked writing. I didn't like writing. I was just really good at it. So you know, when you're good at something, you like to do it. So I was always really good at writing because I wasn't gifted. So they would always make me write like every day.
Oh. So you kind of always knew that you would be creative, like be in a creative after school. Yeah,
I wasn't even into music. I didn't, because all they would play is like classical music. So that wasn't really what I was into. But I like music, but it's not like, school just made me like think it was boring, you know?
Were you listening to something in between like Metallica and electronic music, or did you go from that to the electronic?
I listened to, like alternative rock and like stuff on the radio. I mean, I listened to pretty much everything. I even like Selena Gomez. Like, she was one of my favorite artists.
All their pop music's so catchy.
Yeah.
And then how did you find electronic music?
Well, in Miami, it's like a really big, like there was a really big scene of electronic music. I actually listened to, there was a song, I'm pretty sure it was before it, but Foxes and Zed made a song, I forgot the name of it. It goes, you are a piece of me. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I forgot the name of it.
It's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how I got into it. Yeah. I just know EDM was like everywhere. Because, you know, we had Ultra and everything, so whenever Ultra came around, the radio stations would just blast EDM music all the time. So just to get people pumped for Ultra.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I went to Life in Color, and going to Life in Color was like the first time I ever been to like a rave kind of, like a festival, and I actually knew all the people like performing. Oh. Yeah.
And then how did you get more into the rap?
Into rap? I actually hated rap, honestly. I was not a rap fan at all. I thought it was really stupid. Because I thought like...
Like the messages or?
I didn't like anything about it. But then like now, like as I got older, I realized I just didn't like that music going out like back then. Because I like the rap nowadays. Like I got like Famous Dex and Lil Pump and like XXXTentacion and like, you know, all the new rappers. I don't really like 90s rap. I'm not really like the biggest 90s rap fan.
Yeah.
Or like 2000s. Like I pretty much don't like anything before 2013 or 2012.
Damn.
I wasn't much of a fan because I was listening to EDM.
At what age did you start making your own music?
When I graduated, well, I was like, it depends, like, cause I started rapping first, and then I was making EDM music.
Oh.
Like when I was in 9th grade, I wrote my first rap just cause my friends like told me to. They're like, oh, write a rap, and I was like, what should I rap about? They're like, I don't know, make a rap about ham and cheese. So I did, and it was so stupid. And then like I would just like be in school just writing raps all day. Just like rhyming words and whatever, because I was always like a very literary person.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
like,
because you're good at English.
So I was always good with wordplay and like metaphors and stuff, and just like, because I was actually back then I was into like more lyrical stuff, so I would make my raps like super lyrical. But then like I also listened to EDM, so like I would take lyrics from EDM and put them like, you know, that style. Like with the EDM I started making in 2013 when I graduated high school. I got my first program, Logic. Well, I got GarageBand, and then I bought Logic. And they had, I was watching YouTube tutorials on how to make EDM. And that's when I was making dubstep a lot. I really like Knife Party.
Okay, yeah.
Knife Party was like one of my favorite DJs. And I was just making stuff like that. And I was looking up tutorials. And then all of a sudden, Kygo came out. That's when I really got into tropical house. And I was just making, like, trying to make tropical house beats. Because I really love
Were you listening? I like that also, like, you know, like Thomas Jack.
Yeah.
I interviewed Thomas Jack, Manila Killa. Who else is, like, really, I think, coming on? I interviewed Matoma, yeah.
Really? I love Matoma.
Yeah, it was, like, it was so refreshing, and you just listened to it, you felt like you're on the beach.
Yeah, especially, like, because I was working at I had a job where, like, it was by the beach. And it was like, the way to drive there was very nice, right? It was very scenic compared to like driving on the highway, I guess. So I would always take the long way, and I would always listen to like tropical house. Like I would listen to tropical house mixes and stuff. And it was really relaxing. Like I would be so relaxed. So that was like my escape, just like listening to like tropical house and stuff on the way there. Just like little remixes.
And how long after that did you start the interviews?
I started them last year, 2017. Because I was rapping, and I was doing like shows and stuff, and I had a little hype behind my name because I had like made this song about, like in Miami we have a store called Publix. It's called they sell these sandwiches called chicken tender subs. So I made a song about it, and then it like kind of blew up. So then I was like performing it, and I was getting a little buzz behind my name. And as I was going to the shows, like, you know, like XXXTentacion and them, like Members Only and stuff, they just came out of Miami, and they just like blew up. So I was going to all their shows, and I knew everyone from there. So I was meeting so many people, and I was like, what can I do with all these people I know, you know? And I was always like watching interviews and like watching stuff, seeing what I should do next.
Who are you watching?
I watched No Jumper a lot, of course. I watch DJ Academics. I watch Hot 97, The Breakfast Club. Like pretty much, I just look up like interviews and stuff. And it was funny because the big interviews I watch, they're not really that helpful, you know? Because they mostly just talk about what the artist has like going on. Like
yeah, that's what I hate.
Yeah, so
PR people are just pushing you to talk about a song.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all I would hear. Or they would talk about some drama, but they're not really giving me any insight as to what I should do next, you know? So the only place that I could actually hear that was on No Jumper, because he had actually talked about he had the lawyer stuff and like PR stuff. He talked about that. Like everyone would give like insight into the real music industry, as opposed to like radio interviews, you know?
And this whole time or how long have you been in college now?
I don't like saying that.
You don't want to talk about college?
No, because I've been there for 5 years.
Oh.
I only have my associates.
Yeah.
But it's like, because I don't really like take college that serious, because, I don't know.
You're doing it for your parents?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I already have like stuff going on for me, you know? But my mom just wants me to go to college.
Yeah. Well, so is she supportive of this interview stuff or not really?
When I tell her that someone she likes wants to do an interview with me, then she's supportive.
So she listens to rap?
Nah, she likes R&B and stuff.
Anyone that I've interviewed.
That what?
My parents don't know anyone that I've interviewed.
Really?
Yeah.
No, my mom either. Because I interview underground rappers, so like my mom hates all that stuff. Like she hates like, I mean she doesn't hate XXXTentacion, but she likes like one song, but she hates like all that music. Because I'm always playing it whenever I'm in the car with her, and like you know he screams and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, she's like she gets so mad whenever I play that stuff. And they always curse and everything. So she hates that.
I heard they hate that. They probably have no idea like all the artists I interview. Yeah.
Do they like EDM?
No.
Really?
I mean I never really showed it to them, and like never.
My mom
nothing that came up in conversation really.
My mom hates dubstep, like all that. Like all that stuff.
Maybe she'll like Tropical House.
She does.
That's something that I feel like I could show my parents. Show my parents Tropical House.
Tropical House is so nice, you know. It's like so.
Probably like elevator music to them.
Yeah, right. But not like when Kygo came out, everyone was on like Kygo.
Yeah.
Because he was always on the radio, and there was like a whole wave of just Kygo, and just like that. So.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, what are you studying?
I'm doing business.
Oh.
I was doing film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was studying film because I was doing edits. Because honestly, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I liked being a rapper because it made me self-sufficient, and it made me like it made me do everything by myself. So I had to do my own graphics. I had to do my own editing.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do my own like engineering, my own production, writing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like doing all that stuff, I realized, you know what? Rapping isn't really that great. I know how to do this. This is more fun. So like I like editing.
Mm-hmm.
I like producing. I like Photoshop. I like, you know,
mm-hmm.
I like all that stuff and other things.
I found you through like Adam's interview. It came up like on the recommended.
Huh.
But like, who are you? You were mostly interviewing your friends, right? And then catching. So would you like wait for the rapper to finish? Like, what would you do for the early ones that weren't your friends?
I mean, some people hit me up. They're like, oh, I like what you're doing for the culture. Let's do an interview. So I'm like, all right. Other times I go to festivals, I like shows. I wait for, like, I would honestly, like, wait 5 hours for an artist.
Mm-hmm.
My friends would hate going out with me so much because I made them, like, stay there because they would be so annoyed.
But the rappers are down?
I don't know. Sometimes.
Oh, sometimes.
I gotta catch them when it's good. They always say because I'm cool with like a lot of rappers' managers, so they're always like, "Oh, you just gotta catch them when they're like at the right time. You gotta do it when they're feeling it."
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like.
Have you ever had to like take some stuff down? Maybe they weren't in the mood. Yeah. Same.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't it just like frustrate you? Because it's like, what do we do it for?
Yeah, and I'm like, YouTube has like the function to edit certain things out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if there's a specific segment, I can edit out rather than take the whole interview down.
At first I was upset, but I've done like 200 interviews in like 5 months, so like I have done a lot bigger artists than the people that asked me to take it down, so I'm just like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like trying to like also weed it out too, to like, because a lot of people tell me not to like do so many underground artists, to like focus on the big artists. So like I would like to have mostly big artists, but like, you know, keep it with the underground artists also. Mm-hmm. Because that's what people want to watch. People want to watch people they know. You know?
Yeah. And then like the ones that you were able to like just catch them when they're chilling, was it just from like your previous knowledge of like knowing their music? You didn't really research them, or did you like research?
I don't research anyone.
Yeah. So it's just like your general like hip hop knowledge that you're able to like conduct these interviews.
I mean, because you know, like when you go to shows and stuff, everyone's talking, everyone has the same conversation. Oh, no one in Miami wants to help anybody, everyone is selfish. But it's just funny because all those conversations are being had in other places. Like I come to LA, they say, because Miami, they're like, oh, I want to go to LA because no one wants to help anyone here. So I go to LA. Oh, I want to go to Miami. Everyone helps each other in Miami. They don't help each other in LA. So it's like everyone's having these conversations, you know? Mm-hmm. No one's really collaborating. No one wants to collaborate. Yeah. And I saw that as a problem. So like my way of collaborating with people is during interviews. So this is a collaboration. Like we're collaborating right now. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I feel like I'm helping the problem because I showed, a lot of people have told me that I showed Miami the way to help like that it's okay to help other artists out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how much clout you have. Like, it doesn't matter how much, like, how known you are, or how, like, I would say, like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really matter. Just
Yeah.
like, you're here, you guys both have the same goal. You might as well just do it together, you know?
Mm-hmm. And what's the decision to do some like more tutorials on your site? Like, yeah, I think it was a combination of like the interviews and then like advice.
Yeah,
you do a lot of advice stuff.
Because the reason I do the advice is because like people don't want to watch like a whole hour-long interview sometimes because they don't have time. I understand that people watch interviews on their own time, so like I just like, you know, all the stuff I learned from interviewing people, I just like, you know, condense it into like, you know, here's a fact, here's a tip.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I learned this from this person. Here's what I learned. You know, so it's like more consumable. It's like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to make them super quick. Just give them like a quick tip, just so they can click it and they're like, oh, okay. Because these are the things I was looking for when I was an artist. I wanted to know how to book my first shows. I wanted to know how to promote my music. I wanted to know how to network with artists. You know, I wanted to know all that stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I watched thousands and thousands of hours of interviews. I did thousands of hours of interviews, and now I'm just like giving out, you know, what I learned,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't have to do all that stuff that I did.
And have you always been putting out like the individual songs on your channel, or is that more of a recent thing, like artist songs?
Yeah, the artist songs. Yeah, I really didn't want to put artist songs on my channel, but then I saw like how big it could be. Like I just looked into the future, like long term, and I thought, oh, that might be like a better choice for me to do.
Mm-hmm. And is it mostly like artists reaching out to you, or did you like find some that you really like and like, can I put that on my channel?
They're mostly artists that reach out to me, and I listen to them, and I'm like, oh, okay, this sounds pretty good. So, you know, I don't want to just put like whatever.
Have you always diversified from the beginning? Because you also do a lot of like IG models and people like outside of rap.
Oh yeah, I do. Honestly, it's just people that influence me mostly. Like if I've heard their name, if I've like, you know, seen their work, if I like their stuff, if I take an interest to it, or they like impacted my life, then I'll interview them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, that's who I like draw inspiration. And it's like kind of cool like meeting all these people. Like I was a big Metro Zoo fan, and I got to meet them and I got to interview them.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's like I got to meet my idol.
How did like the Yes Jules interview come about?
Oh, Jules was super cool. I hit her up. She was like, I'm down. I'm with it. And it like led to other interviews too. So.
What do you usually say when you like hit people up like for advice for people who want to start? Do you just like list out like the big people you interview?
Pitch. Hey, you want to do an interview? Honestly, like, I mean, yeah, like it's so funny because everyone. I mean, I have a template. I said to people. I just, you know, like, I don't want to say what it is, but I have a template.
No advice now. The advice time is gone.
This is confidential. But it's so funny because, yeah, like when I tell like people that help me out, I'm like, yo, can you like reach out to this person? You know them? They're like, all right, send me the template. Like, you don't need a template. Just say, yo, you know, hey, because everyone, you know, everyone is a human being. You know, everyone is gonna like, you know, they're people too. Just hit them up. Hey, how would you hit up your friend? Hey, what's up? You know? Yeah. Some people respect that. Some people, I mean, there's a line between like professionalism and you know, just feeling a vibe and just like reaching out to. Because I feel like I'm really professional, so even if I hit them up like in an unconventional way, like yo, or yo, you know, because I hate when people hit me up like that, honestly. But I mean, sometimes it's effective. You know?
If you had like $100,000 put towards your show, what would you do with the money?
I buy a spot. And new audio.
Yeah.
And
the same format?
Yeah, I pretty much. Because another thing with like a spot is that like I'll also be limited, you know? I don't want to be limited to it. Because then people are going to expect me to always be at the spot. Like they still do now. And it's not always like that easy to like find a spot that's like, because sometimes I'll have a spot, but then people were like, oh, you're too far, like, can you come to me? You know, they'll still do that because I have a spot, and then they still ask me to come to them. So I don't see how that's gonna change.
What's your like biggest goal for your channel?
1 million subs.
You want like subs, or like do you see it growing to be on like Netflix or?
I mean, I feel like the future of like content is on YouTube, just because, you know, I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube. Like, I'm watching YouTube videos all the time. I don't really watch TV. So I want to have a lot of followers just so I can help other artists. Because if I have 1 million followers or subscribers or whatever, they're gonna see it as an opportunity to promote themselves. So, you know, it's promotion. I'll help them out.
Yeah.
So that's like a really big goal for me, to get 1 million subs.
What would you say have been like the kind of the spikes that your channel has had? Like certain things that you did, like certain interviews.
The biggest, well, because like I keep track of everything.
Yeah.
And I noticed that like, well, when I did the Lil Tracy interview.
Yeah, that also came up for me.
Yeah, that one, I got 600 subscribers that day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that one was like the fastest growing one. I also did OhTrapstar, and he's my biggest interview right now. And it's funny because OhTrapstar was like, shout out to OhTrapstar, by the way. He's like really making moves out in Miami. Like, he's really big. So like, it's funny because he was the first, because I was like kind of depressed this year, like in 2017, because I was like, damn, I'm not really gonna get any more like big interviews. Like, I was feeling down and doubting myself. I was like, I won't really get any big interviews. Like, I saw everything going really slowly, and I was like, maybe I should stop doing this. I was really in a dark place with it, and I was thinking about quitting, because it was already the end of the year, and I didn't really have too much to show for it. And then, like, all I had was like the Adam and the Lil Tracy interview and the Smokepurpp one. But I didn't really have like the following as I wanted. And then all of a sudden, like 2018 happened. Yeah, because I originally did an interview with OhTrapstar, but then he wanted to take it down. He said, we'll do another one. And I trusted him. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So we did it. So I'm grateful for that. Like, I appreciate him for coming through with that. And it was the first interview of this year. And it became my biggest one too. It was like 200K.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just think it's crazy because it was like the first one of this year. Like, I literally did it right on New Year's. So it's just funny.
Yeah.
And right after that, I got invited to like the studio, and Ski Master Slum God was there, and Warhol, and Kid Chunks, and like a bunch of other people. And I did a bunch of interviews with them. And then like my outlook became better because I was like, oh, you know, I'm like actually getting all these interviews. More people were watching. So it's just funny how that happened.
Do you see your channel having like, or are you thinking about like different variety of content on your channel, like more than you have now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people get mad that I post, right, like, you know, anything. They get mad that I don't only have interviews. They're like, oh, it doesn't look professional that you have your beats on here, or that you have your you know, these kind of like the advice stuff. They get upset that I have that. But I'm like having turmoil right now because I'm like, should I take off the stuff or should I leave it?
Have you thought of separating it? How like Adam separated his like personal and his interviews?
I have, but I mean, the whole point of having that stuff also is to draw more people, you know, because someone might not necessarily like be looking for a Lauren Engel interview. They might not be searching that. I'm pretty sure they're searching up how to have confidence, right? Once they see that, they're gonna be like, oh, who's Lauren? Who's Lauren? Let me check her out. What's she do? You know? So it's like doing that extra content is bringing more audience, like building the audience pretty much. So it's like, it's more exposure for this person.
How would you say you've grown as a person since you were younger?
I'm a lot less ignorant. I just know a lot more stuff. Like, I wish I could have like learned a lot of stuff when I was younger, and I wish I could like unlearn. Because honestly, like, I was very shy when I was young, and it's like caused me to be like very nervous all the time. I have a lot of anxiety. So like I'm always very anxious all the time. You know?
Yeah.
But not right now. I don't feel really anxious.
So you're better, like dealing with better.
Yeah. Cause I like when I go to like I go to a lot of shows and stuff, and I do a lot of things and I talk to all these people, but I'm like a ball of nerves, you know. I get like, and that's because like when I was younger, I wasn't really. It's so funny I'm doing the interview right now because I was literally talking to my boy this morning about how like if I didn't like, you know, because I was like, he told me to like put this post on my Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I don't put posts that have bad grammar, right? Because it had really bad grammar.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want.
Yeah. And you're an English person.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You love like writing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not gonna put this if it has bad grammar. He's like, oh, my bad, bro. Like, I've been taught to use slang all my life. I'm like, oh, I was, you know, like if I didn't like do my 30 minutes of reading every day, I would get like slapped. You know? Yeah. So I was like, and now I'm like over here talking about it.
What does success look like to you?
Like that. Just kidding. I know. I want a house. I'm trying to move out of my house. Try to get a crib.
Yeah.
I want a Mercedes Benz. I forgot what. I think it was the E-Class. I forgot. But that's like my biggest goal right now. I really want that car.
Yeah.
I'm a very shallow person. Success is a lot of money because you know I feel like people lie when they say that money isn't important, because why would immigrants come to America? Money buys a lot of stuff, and I don't know, I just feel like, you know, being successful is having like just a lot of money.
Last question, what do you want to be remembered for?
Having a lot of money. Just kidding. I don't know. I want to be remembered as a person that helped Miami to collaborate. I feel like I'm getting there. I want people to like understand that, because the way I see it is that like humans, they evolved because they're a society. Society is like they're a social society. So like we wouldn't have all of this if we didn't all collaborate, if we didn't all work together. None of this would happen. Like we wouldn't have this brick wall. Like, you know, we wouldn't have all this stuff. We'd be like, we'd all be extinct, I guess, if we all just did everything by ourselves. So I feel like it's always good to collaborate and to share things. Yeah. To share, like, you know,
ideas, knowledge, everything.
Yeah, so that's like my biggest thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much. This was great. I'm so glad you hit me up, and vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having me.